Hi, Desert Hot Springs. Scott Mattis, your mayor, coming to you on May 22nd, 2020. We just had a video update yesterday, but we have fantastic news today. And that's why we're doing one not 24 hours later. We're really happy to hear that the County Board of Supervisors had put in the application, and Dory is going to talk a little bit about this, about accelerating into stage 2.5, however they're talking about it, the accelerated stage of stage 2. And we got great news from the state today that we qualified as a county. That means we are in fully stage 2, meaning retail shopping can open. And that means malls and swap meets. Not that we have any swap meets around here, but definitely the malls. My wife will be really happy about that. And then dining restaurants, they can now open on the inside. And there is going to be quite a few restrictions, obviously, when this first starts out, and Dory's going to go through those today. But we're really happy to talk about that. We have some other great news from the Palm Springs Unified School District announced today that they're going to be doing a drive-in graduation for our seniors here in Desert Hot Springs. So if you haven't seen that news, you can check out Palm Springs Unified School District's website, Facebook, and I believe YouTube. And there's an announcement from the superintendent on how that will happen. If you haven't got your notice from the principal there, it is going to be in alphabetical order on how those drive-ins and I think there's over 5 days and how those will happen, but at least it'll give our students, our graduating class, some hope and a little bit of a not have to do everything virtual and be able to get out and be able to take some pictures and get their diplomas. But again, with that said, we're excited to announce today that the county has all the mayors in the valley have worked together with our county supervisor, and maybe with the push that we gave with all the letters and comments and everything else, we were able to accelerate this a little bit. Now, that doesn't mean all businesses are open. There's still quite a few businesses that have to stay shut or stay closed until stage 3. And Dory will talk a little bit about that. But this being that we got to this stage so quickly, we're hoping that stage 3 is not far behind it. I think that covers it. I'll cover a couple things at the end, but for the most part, Dory Williams, our Assistant City Manager and Public Information Officer, will take over at this point.
Good evening, everybody. As the mayor said, happy to come to you tonight with some much better news than we had last night. So as most of you likely already know, the County of Riverside did get approval from the state of California on our attestation to move forward into what's being called stage 2.5 of the accelerated reopening plan. So right now, that is where we sit, and I'm just going to share a graphic really quickly on my screen that was on the press conference today. So this is where we sit today. We are here, accelerated stage 2. And what that means is that destination retail, that includes retail stores, shopping malls, swap meets, retail in general. They're gonna get to reopen with certain caveats. And so we'll go into that in a minute here. Dine-in restaurants are also going to be allowed to move forward with a couple caveats, and we'll get into that in a minute. Unfortunately, other amenities like bars, gaming areas are not going to be permitted in stage 2 of the reopening, but we are looking forward to stage 3 already and pressing for stage 3 as quickly as safely possible. So that will be coming soon. And then, of course, you can see on this graphic that schools with modifications will also be allowed to open. So with that said, when I say that there's some caveats to the reopening, what I mean is, for example, in order for restaurants to reopen, they are going to need to have basically a reopening plan. And as we are filming this video, we have our code compliance department out, going out to all of our restaurants, providing them with this information that I'm going to briefly go over with you today. It is quite extensive, so I'm just going to give a brief overview, but we are going to get this all posted on our website as well. I'm going to again share my screen. So this first document that you see here, Riverside County Safe Reopening Guidelines, this really goes into what's going to be required for businesses to come up with their reopening plan. They need to cover signage, employee health, client and customer health, state guidance is also included, county guidance, public health measures. So there's a lot of information in here, but the long and the short of it is that in order to actually open the doors open and start to move forward with the in-person dining, the business needs to have a safe and common sense plan to keep their employees safe and their customers safe. It's likely that when you go into a restaurant, you're still going to have a requirement. Well, here in Desert Hot Springs, you will have a requirement for the mask because we do have a local mandate. But even going out to other cities, you know, each business is going to have their own plan in place that they're going to ensure that their customers are adhering to. Also likely that you're going to see the sneeze covers up on the sneeze guards, and lots of sanitizing going on. So all of this is covered in this plan. In addition to that, there are these industry guidances that are going out right now. Our code enforcement staff is delivering this to our restaurants, and this covers a great deal of information. I think the most important takeaway is this. The business itself is going to put their plan together. There is a form that they are going to need to kind of do a self-assessment, check the boxes, making sure, yep, I have that, I have that, I have that, and it needs to be posted in the window. That is how you know that they have done their piece. Now, nobody from the city or the county is going to go and check this. This at this point is being done through Scouts Honor, so to speak. I think we've all been through a great deal over the last couple of months that we understand that we all have our own personal responsibility here. But there are steps that must be taken. It's not just as quickly as they get to go and flip the lights on and now everyone gets to have in-person dining. They do need to follow these steps, and our code department is informing them as we speak. And all of this information, and it is a lot of information, is going to be posted on our website. In addition to the dine-in restaurants, we also have the other sector, which is the shopping sector that is open, again, with some caveats. They need to ensure social distancing. They need to ensure that sanitation is taking place. They need to make sure that, you know, if there's local, you know, mandates in place like a mask, that people are wearing that. And they're going to have a safe reopening plan that they're going to need to have in place. And then same thing, something that, you know, they've did a self-assessment, and they're posting that in their windows. So this is all, I'm sure, going to happen very quickly over the next 24 hours. And we're going to be available over the weekend to answer questions that any business has. First and foremost, if there's any questions, you can reach out to me. My cell phone number is 760-333-0518. If you call and I don't answer, leave a message or shoot me a text message. That's also very effective. We also have our Chief of Police, Jim Henson, that is making himself available over the weekend to answer any questions that businesses may have. He can be reached at area code 760-408-4265. And then finally, we have Christina Archuleta, who is our compliance supervisor. She is available to answer questions. She can be reached at 760-898-5245. So again, you've got myself, Doria Whelms, Assistant City Manager, available, our Chief of Police, Jim Henson, and our Compliance Supervisor, Christina Archuleta. We're all here to help any business that needs help navigating through the weekend so that we can get you all opened as soon as possible. With that said, and I'm going to say this and let the mayor speak to this a little bit more, we are not stopping here. We're working with the county to now move on to phase 3. I know that everyone wants the personal hygiene and the gyms and you know, all of those other areas open. So we're on to that next effort. So with that, thank you, Mayor, and I will pass it back over to you.
I just want to take a minute and thank our staff. I mean, Doria is working, gosh, sometimes seems like 24 hours a day, gathering information. Our Deputy City Manager, Luke Rainey, and our City Manager, Chuck Maynard, they seem like they're on calls all day long, and they're joining me on calls with the county supervisor. They're on calls with the state. They are working hard as a team here in Desert Hot Springs with our code compliance, our Chief of Police, to be able to make this happen as quick as possible for all of us. Our city council has given me authority to work with our local JPAs and our mayors to try to put as much pressure as possible. And I know a lot of you think your politicians don't work for you and don't do anything, but I'll tell you, there hasn't been a lot of sleep over the last 2 months. The county supervisors have been working recently, the last 2 weeks, worked with 4 other counties to actually put together these plans to get us all open as quick as possible. And I know it's not fast enough for some of you, but man, it is great news to hear that today, because like yesterday we kind of held our heads low thinking there's just no way out of this. What are we going to do? And you really get to a point where you want to take it on and maybe just challenge the state, but it really is not something we can do financially for our community. Please comply with the mask. Is still in order by the city council until the next city council meeting, when city council will discuss it and make those decisions whether masks are still necessary or not. It is a strong recommendation by the county. So if you're outside the city of Desert Hot Springs, check your local areas that you're going to. A lot of cities do have a mask ordinance still in effect, and there's a lot of county areas that they're making strong recommendations that this happens. Again, don't forget about testing. Testing site here in Desert Hot Springs at the Henry Lozano Center. It is free. We notified everybody with the phone number and website yesterday. Please look that up. Only about 40 people a day are getting tested. It's Tuesday through Saturday. And we need to get closer to that 132. The farther we get on people getting tested and getting negative, flattening that curve is going to be better for all of us to get to stage 4. I'm jumping all the way from stage 2 to stage 4 because I want to see our economy open completely. We're missing out on too much tax revenue. Just be responsible in your restaurants. Social distance. If you have a problem with a restaurateur that's not possibly doing something and you feel it's important to call, please don't call 911. Please call 760-329-6411. There's extensions for code, police, and our administration, and you can get there and you can make a complaint if you choose to, so that we can follow up on those. For those restaurants and other businesses that can open, please follow the guidelines that are given to you. It's really, really important that we do that. We don't want to be running the calls, having to be reactive to a bunch of complaints that people aren't hearing. You know, be smart about it, use common sense, and let's stay safe out there. So that's great. We're going to leave this, not have another update through the weekend, because this is too good of news for us. Unless we can get to stage 3 in the next 2 days. But I don't see that happening for at least another week, but I think we're getting a lot closer than we were, and I'm getting to feel more positive as each day goes on. Again, Dory left you a bunch of phone numbers that you could reach over the weekend if you need to ask those questions, and don't hesitate to ask those and do something right rather than doing it wrong and finding out the right answer. I think that's about it. Just make sure that we're all following this, and again, we're in this together, and we're going to get through this, Desert Hot Springs. We'll talk to you soon.